Let's preview a 5-game Tuesday. Who's in, who's out? Where are we streaming as we get ready for the day after, which is 14 games. So this is our key moment to get some value in. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and this show will be out in a week or so on vinyl. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Also over at Blue Sky, joshloyd.bsky.social. Today's episode is brought to you by Built. Start earning points on rent that you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. That is joinbilt.com/lockedonnba. Also check out lockedondaily.com, where you can get your newsletter for your favorite team. All information sent to your inbox 5 days a week. Double bang this video as well. Operation 90K on the way. We did an injury update show earlier today, and now we're going to take a look at Tuesday's action across the NBA. No back-to-backs Monday to Tuesday, because this is an NBA Cup day. So let's just take a look at the things that we are paying attention to over for Monday. And the first game we're going to take a look at here, we've got the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Wizards. Schedule-wise, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday for Chicago, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday for Washington, and then both teams have 4 games in Week 7. Patrick Williams is going to be out. Lonzo Ball is doubtful. Julian Phillips and Taylor Horton-Tucker are both probable. W for Taylor Horton-Tucker. And Jordan Poole is officially questionable for the Wizards. He missed their last game over the weekend. So what are we watching? Odosumu has been, as a general rule, bad this season. He's had a couple of interesting games, and he probably could start here with Williams and Ball out, but that doesn't mean you're getting anything good. But we just need to keep watching to see if we get anything good, or maybe do they pull the pin and try a Matas Buzelis there, who played 29 minutes last game? Something to watch. On the Wizards side of things, this guy has been dreadful all season, Kyle Kuzma. I think that there is going to be really frustration with him later on in the season, but I also don't think we need to be doing anything like dropping him right at the moment. I don't believe that he's going to be as bad as he has been. He's not good, but I don't believe he's going to be as bad as he has been of late. And I do think there's going to be some improvement. But you know what? Always willing and happy to be proven wrong on Kyle Kuzma. The stream guys, it is probably Dosunmu, although you could look at a Buzelis in that position. And then for the Wizards, Malcolm Brogdon. And then we go further down to a George and a Carrington in that scenario. They started George last game with Poole out. They might not do that again. It might be Carrington who starts there instead. The fact that they're starting Brogdon remains completely frustrating, but whatever it is, it's there, it's happening, it is frustrating, and I don't know why they're doing it. All right, next game. Milwaukee, Miami. This one in Miami, the Heat are actually 2.5-point favorites here in this one. The Bucks have slowly started to get things together. They're actually playing a lot better at the moment. What are we looking at schedule-wise here? It's a bad week for the Bucks. They've got a Tuesday game, which is this one, and then another game on Saturday. The good thing is that both of them are low-volume days, and they go into 4 games in Week 7. Miami plays Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and we'll talk about this a bit later, they've got an absolutely jam-packed schedule here, and they play 4 games the week after. Of course, James Christian Middleton remains out. The artist formerly known as Taurean Prince is questionable, while Giannis, Marjon Beauchamp, and AJ Johnson are all probable. Drew Smith is questionable for Miami, while Terry Rozier has been upgraded to probable after he's missed the last 2. His minutes are going to be something for us to pay attention to here, because he was playing low minutes the 2 before that he missed with the foot injury. And then Haywood Highsmith left the last game early, and he is fine. He's ready to go. He was dealing with an illness, and he's available to play. Really, to me, on the Bucks, there are 2 things I'm watching. One of them is Gary Trent, one of them is Bobby Portis. 2 guys coming off the bench, and where is their value as a 12-team league player? Trent is playing more minutes than Portis. Portis is a better per-minute producer. Portis still is quite disappointing to me. He's got that value if Giannis or Lopez is out, but otherwise, it's hard to always see it, and that remains frustrating. On the Miami side of things, I do want to see Rozier, who's been terrible all season, and there have been people that have dropped him. And I understand why you would have that frustration, especially with the schedule and him missing games last week. I would go and add Terry Rozier, but I'm also not expecting super, super good things. In terms of stream guys, Gary Trent is sort of winning that battle with him and Andre Jackson and AJ Green. He's bad at times, absolutely. He can be a bad shooter who gives you nothing, but when he pushes to 28 or 29 minutes, you might get 14 points, you might get 3 triples, you might get 2 steals. There's a little bit there to pay attention to that. On the Heat side of things, Jaime Jaquez keeps coming up on my stream list. He's been dreadful, and his minutes are very low. So I put him there as a guy that I get maybe, but it could be Burks, it could be Larson, it could be Richardson, who got 0 minutes last game, it could be Highsmith, it could be Jovic, who played 5 minutes, it could be Robinson, it could be Kevin Love, it could be a million players. My level of faith in confidence of those Miami players is incredibly low. There's just too much sort of changing happening every game, basically. The next one we look at, Houston and Minnesota. The Rockets travel up to Minnesota to take on the Wolves, and the Wolves are 3-point favorites here. Both teams have 3 games this week. Houston is Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. So a big gap there. And then Minnesota is Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Houston also only plays 3 games in week 7, whereas Minnesota gets 4. Steven Adams is going to be out. He's on his, it's the first game of a back-to-back, so he was never playing both of them. He's just going to sit every second game as well, apparently. Jalen Green is dealing with an illness, so he is questionable. Dylan Brooks was previously questionable, but he's been taken off the injury report. While Mike Conley's missed 2 games in a row, he is officially questionable now for the Wolves. I'll be really interested to see whether they play him the 30 minutes if he does return here. Of late, Jabari Smith Jr. has been playing much better. I still don't think that he is an absolutely must, got to grab under all circumstances type of a player, but there is additional, like he's playing better, he's giving us additional value, there's enough there to consider, at least as a streamy sort of guy, but long term, I'm not super sold. And then on the Wolves side, this man's doing the opposite. He's terrible at the moment, Naz Reid. The minutes are down, the production's down, the shooting's not there. He has been quite poor. I want to see what they do with him minutes-wise. Are they going to keep him at 22? Because honestly, 22 of Naz Reid is not a 12-team league player. 26 is barely. So I want to see how they're using him if we can break out of this slump. In terms of stream guys, Dylan Brooks is got a relatively safe... Yes, I'm not including Tari Eason or Amen Thompson. They're just guys to roster. Dylan Brooks has that stream value, and if Jalen Green is out, he will take more shots. If Jalen Green is also out, I expect they start Amen Thompson, and that would also help someone like Reed Shepherd coming off the bench. Other news is Fred VanVleet did not get suspended, so he's available, ready to play. And then on the Wolves side of things, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is probably the stream guy. I wouldn't say that it's super interesting. It's Rob Dillingham for deeper leagues, and Alexander-Walker probably more 14s, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. We've got 2 more games to talk about, then some schedule stuff and some stream stuff as well. But today's episode is brought to you by Built, which of course is spelt B-I-L-T. Yes. You are a renter. You might be. I don't know if you are. You might be a renter, and that's cool. But you can... sometimes it feels like, obviously there's something good with renting because you're getting somewhere to live, but the money just sort of goes, and you go, what am I doing here? Well, there's a way you can get something happening with that rent money. You can take advantage of Built, and that is getting those rewards points through that renting money. You earn points on everything, and you get groceries and travel and everything else that you buy as a usual thing, but as a general rule, that hasn't been something on rent in the past, but now it can be. You can change the game with Built, or Built has already changed the game for you, in fact. It lets renters earn high-value points on rent and around their neighborhood. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones that you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, I'll question, why? Why aren't you doing it? You should be. Start earning points on rent that you're already paying by go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That is joinbilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA to start earning points on your rent payments today. Today's episode is also brought to you by Robinhood, and specifically Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up all of the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and the perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Let's talk about the remaining games here for Tuesday. The next one we look at here is the San Antonio Spurs going to take on the Utah Jazzmen. The Spurs are 3-point favorites here on the road. Schedule-wise, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, San Antonio, into 4 games week 7, whereas Utah has Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So a pair of back-to-backs for the Jazz this week, and one of only 2 teams with the weekend back-to-back. And they have 3 games in week 7. Sohan's going to be out. I don't believe we've got the official confirmation on the other Spurs injuries at this stage. No, we have not. Devin Vassell's missed 4 in a row with knee soreness, which is a massive red flag. And the horse, Keldon Johnson, missed the last game with a hamstring. I've got them both questionable here. Kyle Filipowski for the Jazz missed the last game with an ankle sprain. I'll put him doubtful. And I've also put Walker Kessler probable for this one reason. He's coming back off a hip bursitis issue, and they've got 2 back-to-backs coming up. I believe that Kessler will play. But I think we're just got to be on the lookout in case he sits on Wednesday. I don't think he will, but just in case he sits on Wednesday or even Tuesday, but most likely Wednesday, just flagging it that it's a back-to-back for Utah and Kessler's coming off a hip injury, so you need to pay a bit of attention. For the Spurs, I want to watch Steph Castle because Mr. Castle has played really well of late. Now, overall, his fantasy game still doesn't translate fantastically. There's still bad field goal percentage and low volume, actually defensive stats and scoring and threes and free throw percentages aren't always good. But in terms of his on-court defense, it's been really good. It's been really, really good. He's a little still hit and miss in his overall production, but with guys out like Vassell and Sohan and maybe Johnson, maybe Vassell as well. I don't know whether he's in or out. It does help Castle. Now, when these other guys return, it is going to be a little bit squishy in terms of where the minutes lie and how much he does. But we just continue to watch to see what sort of growth we get in Castle's game. Colin Sexton, I don't. For the Jazz, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Colin Sexton might play 24 minutes. He might play 39 minutes. I literally just don't know, right? He is all over the place. Their rotations are a little bit confusing. Sexton probably should be held, but I will get things wrong with this team all the time because there doesn't appear to be logic that aligns with their goals all the time. Streaming-wise, Buble Champagny is someone that I would look at, while those, especially if Vassell and Keldon are out. Yeah, Champagny is doing enough to be streamed in. And then the man on the street, JORDANCLARKSON, Jordan Clarkson. He's someone that we can take a look at as a stream guy as well. But of course, at any point, he could completely just explode and do nothing. And by explode, I mean in a bad way, like bits and pieces going everywhere, not blow up as in fantastic performance. He could do that as well. He is very, very hard to pin down in terms of his role or his production. The final game of the day, the Lakers. Oh, here we go. We got the return or the note here on Devin Vassell. Just like get into this, Devin Vassell is cleared to play, so he's good. And he's likely going to be in uniform, but he will not play on the back-to-back. There you go. All right, so he's not going to play against Utah, but he will play, Vassell, against the Lakers on Wednesday. Lakers fans, start crying. Because I know you do. Everybody comes back against us. The reason he's playing against the Lakers is that NBA rules suggest that they want someone to play in that game. I think it's to do with the scheduling of those sort of things. I'm just double checking this. Yeah, league rules and team decision. We'll have him play versus Lakers. Anyway, Vassell back Wednesday, out Tuesday. That just came through. Lakers Suns. The Lakers play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and Phoenix has Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. We haven't seen Phoenix since last Wednesday. They've both got 4 games in week 7. Christian Wood and Jared Vanderbilt are out. Jalen Hood-Schifino and Bronny James have missed the last couple, but that does not matter at all. But Jackson Hayes does return, pushing likely Christian Koloko back out of the rotation. And the other good news is that Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant are set to make their return. Lakers fans just start crying again. Beal and Durant are ready to come back. What are we watching for on the Lakers? It's watching Dalton connect to me. It's what is his role? Is he off the bench again? Is 28 minutes enough? Probably not. How many shots does he get? What does he do apart from scoring? What does Rui Hachimura do in the starting lineup? Nothing. But let's see how JJ Redick runs all of that. So we're focusing on that. For the Suns, I still don't know what to do with Yusuf Nurkic. He'll have a big one. He'll have a small one. He'll have a bad one. He'll have a good one. It's all over the shop. with Nurk, and I don't think this is going to be a particularly good matchup for him necessarily. He's like the softest of soft holds in 12-team leagues, and if you drop him, I totally understand that. In terms of stream guys, well, if you're looking for defense, it is Cameron Reddish. Again, don't feel good about that. Oh, by the way, D'Lo, I don't think you can hold him. I think I've said this before. I don't think you can. On the Suns, Royce O'Neal is probably the stream guy, although Beal and Durant returning impact him. Him and Grayson Allen are pretty much neck and neck there in terms of who is going to have more value. Let's take a look at, they're the 5 games. Let's take a look at a couple of schedule things that are interesting for us to pay attention to here. I could tell you the Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-backs, but everybody plays a back-to-back. Everybody plays on Wednesday apart from Milwaukee. They're the only team that plays Tuesday that doesn't play Wednesday. And you're not going to stream on Wednesday anyway. So let's instead get chunky. Let's go from Tuesday through to Sunday because that is 5 actual gameplay days. Because Thursday is a 0 game day. And I'm not going to include Wednesday with 14 games on because that is actually just an impossible day to stream. I've got 6 names here who have got a little bit of bulk value to pay attention to. Jordy Clarkson. Jaime Jaquez. Again, I don't feel good about that one. Robert Williams III. The Blazers played 2 games only. Robert Williams III is a must-roster player. I am waiting on a little bit more information about the availabilities and long-term viabilities of other centers on that team. And I can't say any more at this point. All I will say is that just make sure that Robert Williams is rostered everywhere. And at some point, he might get hurt and they don't have a back-to-back until January the 8th. Williams is going to have some pretty strong value here. It'll temper at some point, but yeah, I wouldn't leave Williams on any waiver wire at this stage. He's only got 2 games as well, but that doesn't matter. Kevin Love's got 3 games with the Heat. Not bad if you want to have a look at that, maybe. And then another couple of pair of 2-game guys, which have a little bit of value there. Malcolm Brogdon and Ayo Dosunmu. 2 games over the next 6 nights. Again, not including Thursday, but not including Wednesday as well. So a little bit of value to have a crack at those players. The next thing I want to look at here is a segment that I hope I remember this, but I'm going to call it 5s and 2s. So I'm going to look at the next 7 days. We love a weekly look. We love calendrical stuff, but let's look at just the next 7 days, Tuesday to Monday. Are there any teams that have 5 games? Are there any teams that have 2 games? Because whenever we look at NBA schedule, we go, man, 5-game week, or wow, 2-game week. So let's look, 7 days. Over the next 7 days, which in reality is only 6 game days, the Lakers and the Heat play 5 times. 5 times for the Lakers and the Heat in the next 6 NBA game days. So if you're streaming a Heat player or a Lakers player, so you're holding Connect or streaming Rui or trying Reddish or Jaquez or Rozier or Love or Highsmith or whoever, 5 games, 6 game days. On the other side of it, the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Bucks, and the Sixers, starting on Tuesday, have 2 games in the next 7 nights, which are 6 game days. 2 games for Nuggets, Warriors, Bucks, and Sixers. So if you are trying a Gary Trent or a Kelly Oubre or a Caleb Martin or a Pajemski or a Kuminga or a Jackson Davis, I think Peyton Watson doesn't count here, but maybe you do count him. They've got 2 games in that next period of 7 days, which in reality, like I said, is only 6 NBA game days. We'll come back with the streams of the day, but today's episode is brought to you by Skims Men's. You've heard Skims before. I know you have. I know that you have because there's someone, I'm sure you've spoken to a female or woman at some point in your life and they've probably mentioned it or you've seen ads or you've talked about it. Skims have now got it for men's and they are unbelievably comfortable. Underwear. Yes, underwear. We all need to wear it. It's comfortable stuff that we need. And if you have something uncomfortable, well, it ruins your whole week. It ruins just a bad pair of undies is the worst thing. But that's not what we got here. 2 materials, stretch and cotton, different lengths and sizes, 3 inches, 5 inches. I don't think we go down to a 7-inch pair of underwear. That would seem a little bit excessive. But you've got the boxer briefs, you've got just the regular briefs, you've got the cotton briefs, the stretch briefs. All of that is there, a range of colors, and you're never going to find a pair of undies, I don't think, that are as comfortable as these. So shop Skims Men's at skims.com/LockedOnNBA and let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever. It's also available at skims.com/lockedonnba. All right, let's go through this now. And, time crunch is really on here. That's the wrong button. I didn't mean to hit that one. What I did mean to hit was this one. Yeah, no, I did hit the right one. Josh, you're flustering yourself. Let's talk about streams of the day now for Tuesday. For a 10-teamer, I'm not going to feel super confident about it, but I am going to tell you that it is Ayo Dosunmu there. For 12-teamers, we go to Julian Champagny, especially with Vassell out. 14-teamers, Keyshawn George. That would bump even further if Jordan Poole is out. And 16 and deeper, we go to Matas Buzalis in Chicago. For Yahoo points, Steph Castle is the guy to look at. And ESPN points, we go to Malcolm Brogdon. For some 10-team streamers, number one on that list is Ayo Dosunmu. Again, level of confidence is low. Julian Champagny, Royce O'Neal, Bubbles Carrington, Grayson Allen, and Jaime Jaquez, who again has been terrible. 12-team streamers. I'll start there with Keyshawn George, Matas Buzalis, Gary Trent Jr., The Pencil, Harrison Barnes. I don't have the sound open. That's unfortunate. Try again. The Pencil, Harrison Barnes. Barnesy. Was that worth it? Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Love is worth a stream. So is Hayward Highsmith, especially if you're looking for those defensive stats. And then for deeper leagues, is it deeper leagues or is it something even more exciting like the double platinum, diamond, onyx, marble, titanium leagues? Yeah, it's these. Andre Jackson Jr., Trey Jones, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dylan Brooks, Cam Reddish, and the big fella Drew Eubanks. Lastly, we look at Yahoo points. Well, not quite lastly because we're going to do ESPN points as well. But Yahoo Points League, streaming, we've got Steph Castle, Malcolm Brogdon, Julian Champagny, Jordan Clarkson, Ayo Dosunmu, and Bub Carrington. And then for ESPN points, we've got Brogdon. We go to Dosunmu. We have Champagny, Castle, Clarkson, and Bub Carrington. And that is the end of the show. So don't forget to throw a thumbs up. Don't forget to double bang. Operation 90K. Let's hit that mark and let's annex Canada and get them back into good standing in the international community. But also, don't forget to remember that you have done something good today. I want you to celebrate the little things that you do because let's not wallow in negativity. That's not good for anybody. Yeah, learn from things, but celebrate the good things because you did something good. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya. Post-credit scene coming up. Guys, Jordan Clarkson did just get ruled out. So Clarkson is out, Filipowski is out, Cody Williams is out. So that's way more for Colin Sexton and Johnny Juzang in that situation. But yeah, Clarkson out, so ignore him as a stream guy. Now, I'm out.